Another week and a new episode? Look at me being consistent.
The outline. With Kevin Dwayne. The outline. With Kevin Dwayne. This is the outline. With Kevin Dwayne. Kevin Dwayne. Kevin Dwayne. With Kevin Dwayne.
What's going on, you guys? It's Kevin Dwayne, and this is The Outline. This is episode 6, and I couldn't be more proud of myself for finding something that I enjoy and being consistent with it. It's so awesome. I say it every week, and I truly mean it. I love doing this. Remember, you can listen to this on Stitcher, Google Play Music, iTunes, KevinDwayne.com, SoundCloud. You can see it on Facebook. I have it everywhere. So make sure you are subscribing. Make sure you are commenting. Make sure you are sharing it with your friends. Rate it. Do all of that stuff because that certainly helps with the ranking so we can move this thing on up. But thank you for continuing to join me. So I'm not a big fan of complaining without a solution. I believe that complaining without action is just whining and it's immature. And to extend on that, I don't like complaining about free shit that really doesn't affect me in my own pockets. And I say that to say this. I cannot stand Instagram's new algorithm. Like, it drives me insane. I was okay with the icon changing. I was okay with them adding the Snapchat feature because all that is fun. It enhances the app. But what I don't like is when I open my Instagram and I see a post from 19 hours ago. It makes me feel like I'm late. It makes me feel like I missed out on something. I want my timeline to be in order. Please give me the option, Instagram. So I read up on it, and apparently they did a survey, and they said that analytically, 70% of people say they miss out on things in their timeline. So they created this algorithm to give you things that you probably would like. So if you have a favorite band, you'll never miss out on that band's pictures. But I am not a part of that 70%. I like knowing that things are in order so I can go back to where I stopped and start from there. Like, there have been birthdays that I've missed, not from close friends because I would know their birthdays. But if it's somebody that I follow closely, I want to be able to say happy birthday on the actual day. If it's like, oh, today's my 30th birthday and it says 19 hours ago, I've missed the mark. It's automatically belated. Not to mention, just because I like somebody's pictures at one point in the year doesn't mean I'm going to continue to like them later in the year. Give me that option, please. For example, Twitter has that option. Twitter has 2 things that you can toggle in their app. One of them says, show me the best tweets first. So it'll show you all the popular tweets if you want to see those in your timeline. There's another feature that you can toggle where it will remove retweets, mentions, and duplicate tweets. So you only see new stuff from people. I feel Instagram and Facebook should give us that option. Don't just take it away. On a business standpoint, I understand that as a company, you always have to change it up. You always want to keep people guessing. I get that. I understand it. But at this point, I'm just annoyed. I want to see posts as they happen. I remember a couple years ago, there was a day party happening, and I was able to go to it because I saw it on Instagram. I said, oh, this is going on right now. I'm not doing anything. And I went to the day party. With this new feature, that's not going to happen because it's showing me stuff because it thinks I like something else, and I don't like it. Please fix it or do something. Please change it back. It's not cool. Yes, they have the push notifications where you can go to someone's page and you can actually say, oh, show me, let me know when they post something. Nah, that's some stalker, baby mama, side chick shit. I'm not doing that. I don't want a push notification when you post. I just want to be able to see everybody's stuff when it happens and when they post because I miss out on more now than I did before. I've actually forgotten about people. Something will show up and I'm like, oh, I haven't seen any of their posts in a long time. So I have to go to their page and realize I missed all this stuff that has happened. I don't like it. I don't. I really, really, really hope they hear people and change it. It's just, it's whack to me. I can't do it. But I do love the story feature. It has taken me from Snapchat. So that was a boss move on Instagram's part because I barely go to Snapchat now because I'm like, oh, I can just watch people on here. And I think the people on my Instagram are a little bit more interesting than people on my Snapchat. Just for the sake that Snapchat, it's more for naked people and stuff like that in my opinion, but Instagram still has a little bit of class to it, so it's cool to see people's days and stuff like that. So I'm here for that. Just put my shit back in order, please. Thank you. Another hot button issue that's been going on in the last week and a half is the whole Nate Parker story. I'll brush over it a little bit. I won't go too far into details because you probably already know what's happening, but he has a movie coming out, the Nat Turner story, and it is Birth of a Nation, and some information that has been on Google since it happened because it's public information has been exposed yet again. He was involved in this rape case in 1999 when he was at Penn, when he was in college. And basically, from the documents, it looks like he and his roommate, who also is involved in this film, ran a train on this girl. That's pretty much, if you read it, that's pretty much what it came down. She had a bit much to drink, and they took advantage of her. Nate got off because he and the girl had sex before, which is ridiculous because you need continuous consent to someone's body. Just because I let you smash today does not give you unlimited usage tomorrow or the next day or next year or when I'm over it, And even in the text messages and the conversation she had with him, she said, I didn't want to have sex with you, Nate. And, and he's shaming her, talking about, oh, well, you were with it. You had a dick in your mouth and this, that, and the other. And it was a really fucked up situation, but he got off on a technicality. But the roommate was still charged. That should be a dead giveaway. Why aren't we talking about John Celestin being charged? If one of you were charged and the other one wasn't, obviously there was an assault that happened. But because they had sex before, they're like, oh, well, it was okay for him to fuck. But the new guy, that was wrong for him to, get some ass while he was there. And I'm just like, the situation's fucked up. And I think we don't take rape serious enough anywhere. And I don't understand it. It's an easy concept. If I don't want to give you no ass, you don't get any ass. And I don't care what I do. Literally, no means no, no matter how far you are in the process. You can literally be inside of someone and they'll say, listen, stop. At that point, if you don't stop and you keep going, it's fucking rape. That's how consent works. And I don't believe that people don't understand the shit. They just don't want to understand it because deep down inside, people have done some rapey type shit. Okay? That's what it is. People have done some shit. They've gone too far. They want to blame it on alcohol and all that kind of shit. But it causes them to look inside and say, well, she wanted it. No, fuck that. Fuck that. At any point, if someone says no, or they are silent and can't say no, and you put your dick in their body, or, women can rape men too, put your pussy on their body, it's rape. It has to be a resounding yes. Yes, yes, you can have some ass. Yes, we can fuck. Put a condom on. It has to be consent on both ends. It's not a hard concept. Can't be drunk, can't be inebriated, can't be drugged out, can't be lifeless. You need to have some consent. And it's a simple concept. Stop making excuses, stop victim blaming, stop covering the shit up. This isn't an attack on the movie. This has been in the news before. He's talked about it before. But because he has this big deal, it's public knowledge. When you rise to fame, people seek out your story. It just is what it is because you're what's being talked about. It's gonna happen. If I became famous today, motherfuckers would go back into my past and just start digging shit up. Granted, I don't think I have any crazy shit out there, but who knows what the fuck they'll find out. Oh, this motherfucker, he had detention in 6th grade and then he went and talked to the teacher and got out of the shit. Is this right? Is this the kind of person we want to have our money? You know, they'll find shit. It's what fame does. So no, he wasn't about to buy NBC and neither was fucking Bill Cosby because NBC was never for sale. But I'm not going to go into that. But rape is rape, you know? And it's still a discussion to be had. And Nate is really not handling it well, in my opinion, because he's still not he's talking about it from a place of guilt. Well, you know, that was something in the past. You know, we're trying to move on. Time heals wounds and all that bullshit. But you still haven't tried to make it better by offering a solution. Like, how about this? Let's have continual consent. Well, no means no. You know? If she ain't giving up no ass, find somebody else to give him some ass. And it's sad because Nate is not a bad-looking guy at all. Like, I wanted to smash Nate back in the Great Debater days. I was just like, man, like, ooh, I just, you know, the whole, you know, the feel. I stopped fucking with him when he made the comment about preserving the black male image. That's why he'll never play a gay character. That shit rubbed me the wrong way and I was good. So I don't fuck with Nate any goddamn way because fuck you. Like, I can't. I can't. I wasn't going to see this movie regardless of what happened. Not because of Nate, but because I'm over oppression movies. I know the history. I do think the movies are good for culture. I do think they're good for the public to see if they need to, you know, get ahead of their own ignorance. But I'm good. I wasn't going to see it anyway, so I could care less about the movie. But I am tired of hearing these rape stories, and I am tired of people defending the suspects. And another thing, don't dare try to defend the justice system in this case. Talking about, so now we have faith in it now. They're like, oh, well, you know, he got off, so they should just let it be. Well, so did fucking George Zimmerman, and so did the killer of Mike Brown, so did all these people. So we know the justice system is flawed when our people are being gunned down. But when it's someone black and prominent and raping somebody, then we trust the justice system. Okay, that makes complete fucking sense. Oh my God, you guys are so fucking brilliant. But I digress on that. This shit is fucked up. I wasn't going to see the movie anyway. It has nothing to do with the situation, but we need to take our women a little bit more seriously. Stop bringing up the people who talk about false rape. People say, well, you know, some girls make it up, and that's why we don't believe it when it happens. Y'all don't believe it when it happens any goddamn way. It doesn't matter whether women make it up, whether they're telling the truth. You guys never fucking believe them. Like the hoteps and the, you know, the misogynistic guys, they don't believe it. They never believe it. They always believe that women are just temptress and they know what they're doing and they deserved it. Listen, I don't give a fuck if she is walking around with dots on her titties and a thong. Her body is not yours. It's not yours. You don't own it. Women never deserve to be raped. Ever. Men either. No one deserves to be raped. No one deserves to be molested. I don't give a fuck how much it's tempting to you. You need permission. Period. Listen to yourself. Stop making excuses for these motherfuckers. Please. And I also don't care about the white people who did it and got off. Because there's another argument. Well, you know, this happened, but you know, Woody Allen still makes movies and you know, that other white guy got off. Listen. Fuck them too. Rape is wrong no matter what culture did it. Yes, America treats people differently based on race. We know that. Yes, we react differently. We know that. But it doesn't change that all of these people are fucked up individuals. It doesn't change any of that. They're all fucked up. And they all deserve consequence. All of them. But we can't control that. But that does not mean we get to go ahead and O.J. Simpson this shit and let this motherfucker get off because he's of color. He's still the rapist. You know what I mean? But I'm going to move on from that. I wanted to talk about it because it's been so popular. In other news, Frank Ocean has finally released 2 bodies of work over the weekend. On Thursday night around like 11, he did a live stream of this visual called Endless, which it confused me. I didn't care that much. It came across my timeline. And so after about 15 minutes of people talking about it, I was like, let me click on it. So I clicked on it and I'm just like, okay, it looks like an episode of Property Brothers. Like this motherfucker is in Home Depot and he's just in here building and sawing and doing things and there's music playing in the background. I instantly became annoyed by it. And here's why. I was like, I don't really want to watch him do this shit while music's playing in the background. It was just like a distraction to me. I couldn't do it, so I didn't do it. And actually, I still haven't listened to Endless because I didn't want to sit there and stare at it. I just couldn't. I was like, I'll wait until this is actually an album on iTunes and I can just listen to it with my own ears, like an actual, album. So I just let it be. And then on Saturday evening, he released Blonde. And I was so confused. I was like, wait, is this a complete different body of work? And after asking a bunch of people, they were like, yeah, it's completely different from what was in Endless. I said, oh, wow. So he released 2 albums pretty much. He released the visual one and he released an audio one. I'm like, that's pretty dope for him. Like, that's cool. And so I listened to Blonde. It was cool. It's good. I enjoy it, but I haven't played it since Saturday. And here's why. I just think Frank Ocean's a good artist. I don't get the hype. I never did. And for once in my life, I understand how Beyonce haters and people who don't care for Beyonce like that feel. I never got it, but I get it now. Where this thing is being hyped up so much and you're just like, I don't get it. He's good. He's a great songwriter. His music is, creative, but why are y'all going crazy like you're about to really lose your life? And, like I'm not about to rush out and buy no Frank Ocean tickets. I'm not about to go buy 5 copies of the album. Like, it's good. He's creative. He's a good writer. And I'll leave it at that. And it's been that way for me since he first appeared in like 2011. 2011, that's when the mixtape dropped, and I remember hearing like Novocaine. I was like, oh, this got a cool little flow to it. And I was like, I like him. Like, cool. And I let that shit be. And then I remember I moved to Georgia, and the people I was friends with out here, they were just talking about Frank, like, oh, his album's coming out in like a couple weeks. Oh, we're so hype. And I was like, maybe it's a Southern thing, maybe down here they fuck with him like that, because I still didn't get it. I'm like, okay, whatever. And so as it got closer to the date of the release, I remember I was at my friend's house and he was like, oh my God, Frank Ocean released this letter and he said that he's bisexual. He talked about this guy that he loved. And I was like, what? Like, he's gay? Like, that's crazy. Or he's bisexual. I like to call a thing a thing. He's bisexual. Cool. If you claim it, that's what you are. Fine. So I was like, oh, wow. Respect to him to be a black male and say that. I was like, this was before Sam Smith, actually. So I was like, wow, that's so dope for, for gay people. I mean, yeah, we had Elton John and we had like Boy George and people like that in the past. But in this day and age, to just sing like regular ass R&B type music and just come out as a gay man is like crazy. And Frank Ocean was black. So I was like, that's dope as fuck. Like, wow, cool. And so it made me say, you know what? I'm going to buy his album when it drops. And I did. When it came out, I bought it on iTunes when it came out because I was like, you know what? I commend him for doing that. I bought it solely on the fact that he talked about being in love, having unrequited love with a man. That's why I bought it. It wasn't because I thought his music was just so excellent. It was just, I was like, I'm just supporting you. I just think what you did was courageous and I'm buying this album. And that was that. I listened to the album. I enjoyed Channel Orange. I really did. It reminds me of New York because my first time going to New York, I played that album on the plane. And I remember being in Brooklyn, walking down the streets, and everyone was playing this album. And I was like, wow, people are really into Frank Ocean. Like, this is kind of dope. And it was especially a lot of gay people. So I was like, that's dope. Like, I was really happy for him. Then time goes by, and I'm noticing that it's becoming even more fanatical for him. And I'm just like, I kind of just stopped caring. And then we got to the Grammy performance, and I was just like, this dude is not really that solid of a vocalist. And I was like, I don't know that I will ever want to see him live. Like, he's an okay singer, but I respect his songwriting and I respect his creativity. I mean, he wrote No Church in the Wild and Superpowers and I Miss You and great songs. I'm like, he's a great writer, almost a poet. I treat it like poetry. He's a good poet. He's creative, but not losing my mind over anything that he's done. That's just not where I'm at. So 4 years have passed since then, and people are going crazy. Where's the Frank album? There've been all this teasing and all this stuff that's been happening, and people have been losing their minds. Is it coming out this week? Oh, it's not. Fuck you, Frank. You're a liar. You're a scammer. I can't believe this. Why is he teasing us? Oh, and I'm just like, are y'all really going in for Frank Ocean like this? Because I don't give a fuck about any of this. Like, when he drops it, he drops it. I'll listen to it, but I'm not staying up until 12 o'clock at night to make sure he drops an album. Fuck that. Like, I don't care that much. So then it's become this, well, we need to support our black gay men. I'm like, I do support him, but I'm not going to pretend to be a fanatic over him, because at the same time, his music is still very avant-garde. So I feel like you almost have to be a part of a certain type of mindset to even get into it like that, because he doesn't really sing straightforward music. It all has like double meanings and like all this kind of thought-provoking shit. And sometimes I just want to hear the basic shit. Sometimes I just want straightforward lyrics. I'm heartbroken. I want to hear some heartbroken shit that I can understand and just go to easily. I don't want to have to sit here and do Braille and arithmetic and algebra, doing Pythagorean theorems just to figure out you're talking about heartbreak. Because I don't need it, like, I don't. So it's almost like you have to be be a music geek in a sense to really, really absorb his music. But I do respect him for his creativity, his courage, and his consistency as far as just still creating music and still, giving the fans what they want. I think that's dope. So I hope Blonde does well for him. It's predicted to sell, I think, 225K this week, according to Hits Daily Double. So good for him, and I hope he has a tour and it does well. But I'm just not this huge ass fan of his. I respect him as an artist, and I think he's talented. Vocals could be stronger, but I'm not going to put him in the area of visionary and place him higher than some of the greats. No. This is only his second album. Like, nah. Let him have his journey. He's respected as a talented person, but I'm not about to give him these adjectives yet. No, I'm not doing that yet. I'm sorry. I can't. I refuse. But thank you, Frank, for giving your fans what they wanted. Now they can, do what they need to do and live their lives and stop staying up late, get some good REM cycles, and that'll be that. And, go in. So that's that for hot topics and things that are going on in the world and what's happening, or at least the shit that I decided to talk about. This week's table topic is going to be not so much a topic, but more or less, I guess, helping me try to figure my shit out in my life. Like, figuring out the puzzle. The puzzle, and me and my friend Wabi were talking about this. We were watching this documentary on DJ AM, and it was called As I Am. It's on Showtime. And it was a really good documentary. That guy just came out of the womb with a lot of, like, problems in his life. Like, his father was gay and was having an affair on his mom. His mom had an affair and had a baby by the other guy, which pretty much brought on DJ AM. I mean, he was on drugs by the time he was a teenager, like an early teenager, middle school teenager. He went to a rehab where they like abused the kids. He had body dysmorphia. Like, he just had a lot of shit working against him. And, you know, just like all like the Amy Winehouses and like Janis Joplin's, all the, you know, the people that come before him, is like they turn these tragedies into art. And it's the craziest thing to me. Like, it's so crazy. But it talked about how, you know, he was a glutton. He admitted it. He liked large amounts of everything: sex, drugs, food, shoes. That's what made him feel better. And, you know, he was clean for a while, and then he binged and ended up overdosing, and it was just a really sad story. But me and my friend were talking about how he fulfilled a purpose, though. You know, he still made an impact on people. He changed the game. And what I told her, I noticed that it seems like when we meet our purpose, that's when it's typically our time to go. And I'm like, wait a minute now. I know I want to find my purpose now, but no rush to die. You know, I still want to live life, you know? And we started talking about how it's a puzzle. Life is a puzzle, you know? And you're literally just piecing things together. You're piecing it all together. But when you complete that puzzle, that's likely the end. And I took it a step further and said, you know what, that puzzle has so many pieces. We know we're still trying to figure it out. We have pieces from other puzzles that don't belong that we try to make fit. And by trying to make them fit, we damage the pieces that actually belong there. So they end up getting frayed ends and getting, you know, the little cardboard starts showing. And then we have to remove them. Then we find that other piece and it just feels right. It feels right because it belongs there. And these pieces are careers. These pieces are loss. These pieces are death. These pieces are love. I think I said love already. I'm sorry. Friendship, people who come into our lives, people who leave our lives. All the things that we experience in life are those pieces to that puzzle. So, to round that out, the piece I'm looking for is figuring out what the hell am I going to do about my love life? Because, honestly, I don't know what it is I want. I'm willing, but I'm not seeking. Because seeking frustrates the entire fuck out of me and my soul. Because the shit that I have to deal with these gay men, it's not worth it. So I have been single for a year now. When me and my ex separated, I told myself that I was not going to be in a relationship for a minute. That minute turned around real quick. I was like, wow, it's been a whole year. And it's been a great year. Yeah, I've messed around, talked to this guy, stuff like that. But nothing serious, nothing like, oh, we are dating, we're about to make this shit be a relationship. Nah, I refused. I wasn't going to do that. And it's because I didn't want to go back into the frustration of it all, because it can be very frustrating, especially as a gay black man, in Atlanta, Georgia, because there are so many men here that everyone treats other people like they're disposable. It's like as soon as there's a sign of challenge, it's like, all right, I'm out, on to the next one, They get Jay-Z on you, And that's just that. So as I hit the year mark, which was, I think, a week ago, I started reevaluating. I'm still dealing with the contradictions within myself. And that means this. I miss companionship, but I also like being left the fuck alone, okay? I miss monogamy, but I also like fucking a lot of people. Or the option to, at least. I'm not fucking a lot of people, especially right now. There's a drought happening. I don't get it. It needs to end. It's still summer. I should still be getting ass, but once again, I'm going too deep. Let me stop. But I do miss sex. Can you please come back? Please, sex, please. So, I miss that. And then, I like being able to have someone to talk to and chill with on a consistent basis, but I also don't want to lose myself in them. And it happens so easily when you're in relationships. And typically, I think that I am willing to be in one, but then I'll talk to one of my friends who is in a relationship, and I'll be like, oh, hell no, I don't want to do that. Because I think my biggest issue is with the compromising, and this is honesty. I feel like some forms of compromise are bullshit. I feel like they are forms of control. And I refuse to be in a partnership with someone where they are controlling me, where, they want to dictate how I think, what I do, what I watch, what I eat, how I dress, how I react to them. And I don't want to do that. I want to be in something where I can be completely me and they can be completely them. And we just come together from time to time and fuck shit up, It doesn't have to be a loss of self. And it is so hard to find in a society that has been trained on what love is supposed to be. I'm not a dog. I'm not a possession. It's not ownership. I don't want to be with somebody who feels like love is being able to go through my phone. I don't want to be with someone who feels like, trust is something that you have to like earn. So you come in it thinking that I'm an ain't shit nigga. Nah, I'm not with that because I'm not going to treat you like that. I don't want it to be a whole idea of how much will you sacrifice for me. Me. I don't want to be in that shit. That's not love. I don't know what the fuck that is, but it's not love. I just want to be who the fuck I am and be honest about the shit. And I want you to do the same thing, but we do it together. How about that? And so it's causing me to be a little confused on, what to do because I don't meet a lot of guys like that. I don't. Like, most people are on the whole distrust thing, and it's frustrating. And then, like I said, I live in a place where there is a lot of available men, but they're not really available, and just everybody's disposable. So it's rough. It's difficult. So, as I said before, I'm willing, but not seeking. I can't. It's draining. But I am working on making myself available to have the opportunity to meet people. Because I'm always at home, motherfuckers ain't about to come in my apartment. Like, they're not just going to just randomly show up and say, hey, I might want to get to know you. I have to be, open to meeting people. I have a love-hate relationship with apps and shit because, like, I never quite delete my profiles, but I delete the apps and I come back, like, every few weeks out of frustration because, like, you want to meet people, but the people on those apps, my God, they're such trash. All of them. Well, not all of them, but many of them are trash. Like, all you find are just mean-ass, hyper-masculine, but actually not that masculine guys who want to shame everybody who isn't them or who isn't who they think they should be, or drug dealers. Those are the two things you find on apps. Or you match with people on Tinder and it goes nowhere. Like, you're just there, you match, but we're not going to talk about shit. We're never going to go on a date. It takes years to respond, and it's draining. So I'm like, fuck this. Let me remove this part. Let me get out the house. Let me go out. Let me do things, but I haven't really got results because I don't really know where to go. I don't know where to be. I don't know actually where to meet people. And I don't have kick it buddies out here like that. And I know that sounds crazy, but what I mean by that, in LA, I grew up in LA, so I had friends and people at any given day that I can go kick it with, go to Fiesta Cantina, go to the Abbey, go to the spots where, I'd go to the gay areas where I can meet people organically and stuff like that, and go to like house parties and kickbacks and barbecues, and I would meet people everywhere. When I moved to Atlanta, I lost that connection. I have acquaintances here. I have people that I've befriended, but no one that I can just call up on any night of the week. I don't have my close friends here that I can just go to a club with and have somebody to kind of bounce off of when I go out so we can flirt and, and do stuff like that. You know how it is with your friends when you go out. I don't have that here. And I'm just in a different place, and I don't know. So it's hard, For example, on Saturday, I got out the house. I took myself on a date. I took myself on a date because I'm all about that. If you don't love yourself, no one else will. And I refuse to just, I love my company. So I went to Roussan's in Midtown, went and had my chicken fried rice, which I love there. Then went to the movies, and then I went crate digging. I went to Piedmont Park. Like I try to go out just to be out. No, maybe I'll meet someone out, but it doesn't work that way. You almost it doesn't work. And so I'm like, okay, I tried that. On Sunday night, I ended up going out to a club, but that ended up being a bust. Like the club was trash. Like I guess there were 3 events that night, and I picked the worst one. Like there were all of 4 people in there. And that's not including the staff, but why would you include the staff? And I bought a expensive ass Hennessy on the rocks. It just wasn't a good look. But I was like, look, I'm trying. I tried to go out just so I could, see people, but it just didn't work. So I'm a little frustrated by that aspect. But as I said before, I'm willing, not really seeking. I'm just trying to put myself in a position where I can meet people, but I'm not going to stress myself out over it. I'm okay with solitude. I'm okay with my own company. I love myself. I'm comfortable being alone, but I do miss companionship. I do miss dating. I do miss that kind of stuff. So I'm willing to go out on dates of mutual interest. Because that's another thing, too. I'm not saying there's no one out there, but the people that, you know how that works. Typically, people are into you. You're just like, not really. I don't know. I don't know. And I don't really have a type, but I just know it when I see it. You know what I mean? None of my exes or lovers have looked like the other. So you can't say, oh, that's Kevin's type. They've all been different from one another. It's an energy thing for me. And I'm just looking for that energy to match up again. And we'll see what happens. So that's where I'm at. So maybe this was just like a rant. I don't know. Let me know. I'm sure you'll comment and tell me your thoughts on this shit. But I'm just trying to find ways to meet people, have opportunities outside of the apps. I'm good. Like, there's meetup groups. There's, of course, there's bars and lounges. What else is there? Should I join like a dodgeball or a bowling league or something? I don't know. Atlanta's gay enough. You can be in the supermarket and meet another gay nigga. Like, it's not an issue. But it hasn't been popping off. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older. I don't know. It just hasn't been popping off. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point. But I am willing, not really seeking it out, but I'm willing at this point. I think I've had enough time in between my last relationship. Actually, a lot of that baggage left within weeks. No shade. It was over, so that wasn't it. But I did want to have some time to myself, like completely by myself. And it's been great. And it still is great. And I love it. But I am willing to seek another companion and, someone to chill with, get to know, and, that good old sex, that's a good factor. It keeps you healthy. It keeps you alive, Each one teach one. Bust a nut. You got to have that, So I don't know how that ties in, but that was what I want to talk about this week. Let's move into our mental health moment. So simple mental health moment this week. I was referred to this podcast by my friend Wabi. It is Elizabeth Gilbert's podcast. It's called Big Magic, which is based on a book she released last year. It's so good, you guys. Go on iTunes, subscribe to this podcast, and subscribe to that podcast. It's so good. She just talks. It's for creative people, and she literally every week is just how to stay true to your passion and how to, keep your dreams alive. And it just has. I described it as having that mom feel. Though she's so tender in the way she talks to her guests and people, and it's so comforting. And she drops so much knowledge. I mean, this is the woman who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, for God's sake. You know what I mean? She drops so much knowledge, and it's a great podcast, and it just makes me feel so good to listen to it. So I recommend that for our mental health moment because I think it's good to have that kind of positivity in your ear, and you can catch up on all the old shows and stuff, and just check it out. So that's your task for this week's mental health moment. And that is the show. Number 6. Wow, this is so cool. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share it. Everyone listening right now, when you're done, when I end this show right now, I want you to go and share it on your Facebook, your Twitter, and your Instagram. Or any of them. Pick one. I don't care. Just share it, please. And tag me. I'll love you forever. Okay? Ready? Go now. See you next week.